Yuna, do you think it's a good idea to go see the sea witch?
I don't know. Witches can be tricky. Hi, I'm Yuna the Unicorn. Come learn along with me and Super Teacher.
Super Teacher!
Hi, Yuna. It's story time. Are you ready?
Wow, a book with a castle and a rainbow. I'm super ready.
Well, let me give you a clue about the story we're doing, and then maybe you'll be ready. Today's story has underwater adventures, magical spells, and lots of scales and tails. Yuna, what story do you think we're doing today?
Is it about a mermaid? Like Ariel.
You got it. Great guess. We're reading The Little Mermaid.
Yippee!
You've probably seen movies or read books about The Little Mermaid before. This story might be a little bit different. Just a little silly twist here and there. Let's go! So, once upon a time, there was a little mermaid who lived way down deep in the ocean. And get this, she wasn't just a mermaid. She was also a princess. Yuna, would you like to be a royal mermaid?
Yes. I'd love to be a royal mermaid with a sparkly tail and a shiny crown.
Yuna, if you were a mermaid, what color tail would you want?
I want a rainbow tail. So colorful and magical.
Maybe you could have a tail that changed colors, like a chameleon. One day, the little mermaid decided to swim up to the surface of the ocean. That was kinda dangerous for a mermaid to do, because sometimes there were fishermen up there, and she might get tangled up in a net.
Oh, no!
But the little mermaid was bored. And sometimes boredom makes you want to do mischievous things. Yuna, have you ever done rascally stuff when you were bored?
Oh, I sometimes hide my toys all around the house and then forget where I put them.
Who among us has not been a lil rascal at least once? Back to the story. The little mermaid swam up, toward the surface of the water. When she reached the top, she saw something.
A big old ship. And I bet there are people on that ship too.
The little mermaid had never seen a real-life human person before. But she had heard lots of stories about them.
Oh yeah, I know tons about people. For instance, they do this thing called taking a bath where they sit in water even though they're not half fish or anything. And they say stuff like,
Mondays, am I right? Some weather we're having. And I put my pants on one leg at a time just like everybody else.
That one really made the little mermaid wonder.
Gee, I wonder what it's like to have human legs and wear pants. I bet it's so cool. Wowee!
Best of all, in the little mermaid's opinion, was that land people could do really cool stuff.
Like gymnastics and tumbling class. And play soccer. And dance. Yippee!
Yuna, do you like to dance?
Yeah, I love to dance. It's so fun to move around like that.
So do I. My favorite move is the robot. What do you say? Shall we have a super quick dance party, Yuna?
Yeah, let's do a robot dance party.
Woohoo! Dance party time! Wow! I danced so hard I nearly broke a sweat. Now, back to the story. The little mermaid swam closer to the ship so she could see all the people up close.
Holy moly! They're doing, like, all the human stuff. Roller skating. Jumping. That guy's even dancing on his tippy toes.
Then the little mermaid saw something she did not expect.
A real-life human prince.
Okay, you may be saying to yourself, but she's a princess, why is she so impressed by a prince? Well, it all goes back to the legs and feet thing. You see, in all the human fairy tales,
the prince character is always doing stuff like riding horses, climbing towers, and doing sword fights. These are all things you just can't do as a mermaid.
As the little mermaid was watching the prince, something very terrible happened. The prince slipped on a squishy banana peel and fell overboard. The little mermaid hoisted the prince up and got him safely to the shore.
Hi! I saved you. Are you impressed?
But the prince was so shocked by what had happened, all he could see were stars. Then the Little Mermaid saw the ship approaching the shore. She knew the prince would be safe now.
I have to go. But I'll see you again soon. I just know it.
The next day, the Little Mermaid could think of nothing else except for the prince.
One day I'll grow up and marry the prince. And we'll dance and roller skate and run around all day long every day for the rest of our lives.
But there was a teeny tiny problem with that plan. She was a mermaid. She couldn't do any of those things. That's when she had a not so great idea.
I'll go to the sea witch. She can cast a spell to make me into a human, and then I can grow up and marry the prince and live happily ever after. The end.
Hang on, that's not the end. Stay with me. There's still a lot more to this story. The Little Mermaid swam to the sea witch's underwater lair. Yuna, do you think it's a good idea to go see the sea witch?
I don't know. Witches can be tricky.
Yeah, who can be sure? This could be a good witch who casts nice spells, like turning rain into sprinkles. Or a mean sea witch who casts bad spells, like turning people into frogs. Well, long story short, this was not a very nice sea witch. Yuna, let's pause for just a second. I want to make sure you're comfortable with the story. Maybe you would like to skip past the scary part and see a silly version instead. So, tell me. If you want the scary version, say yes. If you want the silly version, say no.
No, I want the silly version.
All right. Silly version it is. Whoa, it's already getting silly in here. The Little Mermaid found the sea witch. The sea witch was startled and made a funny sound, like this. This made the Little Mermaid giggle. She explained her situation to the sea witch.
I want to be a human with legs and feet so I can go on land and meet the dashing human prince.
I can work up a magic spell, but it'll cost ya.
Then the sea witch laughed. It was not a laugh you would expect from a witch.
It sounded like a baby. Not very villain-like.
Yuna, I want to hear your best villain laugh. 1, 2, 3, go!
Mwahaha. Was that good?
Oh my! You sound like a real supervillain. Here's mine. Mwahaha. Okay, maybe I'm not cut out to be a villain. But you just unlocked the Great Giggle Award for doing such an expert villain laugh. Moving on. The sea witch said,
I've heard you have a beautiful singing voice. You give me your voice, and I'll turn you into a human girl. Deal?
The Little Mermaid thought about this. She really wanted to be a human, but she also didn't want to lose her voice. And it was strange to her that the sea witch had heard she had a beautiful singing voice.
Everyone always says my sister has a beautiful singing voice. Not me.
This was true. The Little Mermaid's sister was a lovely singer. But the Little Mermaid sounded like this. Then the sea witch said there was a catch.
Oy vey, there's always a catch.
You have one day. If you can't make the prince promise to marry you before time's up, then I get to keep your voice forever. And you'll be turned into a stinky blobfish.
Ugh. Everyone knows the blobfish is the blobbiest and most totally yuck of all the fishes.
But I'm only 8. I'm not old enough to propose marriage.
Deal or no deal? You decide.
So the Little Mermaid agreed. And the sea witch cast the spell. The Little Mermaid swam away, just before the witch got a chance to try out that new singing voice. Hey! That was not a beautiful singing voice. The sea witch felt bamboozled, hoodwinked, a victim of the old bait and switch. Yuna, do you know what that means? To be bamboozled or hoodwinked?
Does it mean to trick someone? Like a sneaky trick?
Right. These are all just ways to say the witch felt tricked, and that made the sea witch upset.
Uh-oh.
Well, that seems ominous. Anyway, when the Little Mermaid got to the shore, she stood on her feet.
on human legs. Look it! Now, I just gotta find the prince and convince him we have to marry each other in like 20 years, or whenever it is grown-ups get married.
Special note here, Yuna, the Little Mermaid did not say any of these things out loud. She could only think them. 'Cause, remember, no talkie. Yuna, how would you communicate if you couldn't use your words?
I think I'd use my hands and make funny faces.
Maybe she could use sign language, or write or draw pictures to communicate, or even do charades. So, first things first, the Little Mermaid needed to find the prince. She looked around. You know, the Little Mermaid had never been on land before. She might need your help. Yuna, take a look at this village. Where do you think the Little Mermaid might find the prince?
I think she should check the big pink castle. The prince might live there.
Yes. The Little Mermaid should go to the pink palace in the middle of the village. Let's go. The Little Mermaid ran. Yes, ran. Toward the castle. And guess what? She found the prince. He looked lonely. So lonely he was trying to do the seesaw by himself. That's an activity you really kinda need two people for. The Little Mermaid went over. The prince was delighted to see her. Maybe she could be his friend. He said hello. The Little Mermaid didn't respond, you know, because of the whole no talkie thing, so the prince figured she was just shy. No big deal. They could still be friends. Meanwhile, the sea witch was becoming more and more upset that the Little Mermaid had given her a not-so-great singing voice.
Now I'll never hit the Billboard Hot 100.
The sea witch plotted revenge. Yikes! Back on land, the prince and Little Mermaid played until the sun started to set. Then the prince said,
"Well, it's time for dinner. See you tomorrow?"
The Little Mermaid realized she was hungry. Very hungry, her tummy growled. The prince couldn't help but notice, but he was a very thoughtful prince, so he invited her in to eat. Everything was working out perfectly. Well, she still had to get the prince to agree to marry her in like 20 years or so, but she'd figure that out. But first, her very first not under the sea dinner. The food was a little dry, but whatever. Then, like out of nowhere, the king just casually dropped a super important nugget of information. The prince was already engaged to be married. He was contractually obligated to marry the princess from the next kingdom over. This was terrible news to the Little Mermaid. But then the prince said,
"No way! I'm going to grow up and marry the girl who saved me from drowning."
He was talking about the Little Mermaid. She had rescued him from drowning. But wait. He didn't recognize her. So how was she going to tell him that was her? She tried gesturing with her hands, but no one understood. They just thought she was asking for more mashed potatoes. Oh well, at least she liked mashed potatoes. Hey Yuna, I have to interrupt the story for a moment to ask you a super important question. It's the great potato debate-o. Here's the question. Which do you like better, mashed potatoes or French fries?
I think I like French fries better. They're crunchy and fun to eat.
Oh yeah? Now for the Big Dipper question. Do you like to dip your fries in ketchup?
Yeah, dipping in ketchup is yummy.
So do I. I like to dip them in ranch too. Okay, back to the story. All of a sudden, the butler came back and said that the Little Mermaid's dad was there to get her. What? Her dad? From the ocean? But, like, how?
I'm definitely gonna get a timeout for this.
Hey kid. It's past your bedtime. Let's go.
Huh? Who was this strange mustachioed man? This was not her dad. Then the dude leaned down and said,
You gave me a silly stinky singing voice. Now come with me or I'll turn you into a blobfish right here, in front of everyone.
Yikes! It was the sea witch. Yuna, what do you think the Little Mermaid should do?
Maybe she should show who she really is and get help from the prince.
She hasn't figured out a way to communicate. If she had, maybe she could say, hey, this guy is a total supervillain, and I'm not going anywhere. The Little Mermaid did not want to be turned into a blobfish in front of the prince. So she left with the sea witch / mustache guy. Once they were outside, the sea witch told the Little Mermaid that the deal was over.
Finito. Kaput. D-O-N-E. That spells done.
The Little Mermaid didn't say anything. Because, you know, the whole no-talkie thing.
Oh right. You can't talk. Here, have your lousy voice back. I clearly don't want it.
Phew! Amazing! I can talk! Wait! Now that I have a voice, I can just go tell the prince that I want to marry him.
Ha! Good luck with that. I already started the curse.
Oh no!
You'll be a blobfish in about 5 minutes.
But if I get him to agree to marry me, will the curse be broken?
Oh, I guess. But you better hurry. You're already starting to smell like a blobfish. Super stinky.
Back. The Little Mermaid had to get to the prince and get him to agree to marry her pronto, or else she'd turn into a stinky blobby blobfish. She ran into the palace.
What's that smell?
Nothing. But hey, I can talk now. That's cool, right? But listen, you gotta hear me out. I want to marry you.
What? I'm only 8.
Yeah, me too. Not now. In like 20 years when we're grown-ups. I wouldn't ask, but I made a deal with a sea witch, and now there's kinda a lot riding on this.
Huh?
Yeah, if you don't agree to marry me, I'll turn into a blobfish. Long story.
Gross.
Oh, I almost forgot the most important part. I'm the one who saved you from drowning. I'm the one you want to marry.
Well, why didn't you just say so?
So the Little Mermaid and the prince made a promise. In like 20 years or so, when they're grown-ups, they would get married. They signed it in crayon. So it's legally binding. The magic spell/curse was broken. The Little Mermaid would not turn into a blobfish after all. This really set off the sea witch. Not a huge fan of happy moments. Or silly curses being broken. Too bad. Back to our happily ever after. The Little Mermaid and the prince would get to play together all day forever and ever.
Awesome!
Oh, right, and the Little Mermaid got her voice back. Well, that one might be a mixed blessing. Oh hey! You unlocked the Big Finish award. That's because you made it all the way to the end of an epic tale. And guess what? You can keep going on adventures with the Little Mermaid.
Dive into the mermaid math game, where you can help me find fantastic treasure under the sea by solving addition, subtraction, multiplication, or even division questions.
See you next time!
Thank you for learning along with me. You can take this super teacher lesson yourself, or hundreds of other lessons in reading, math, and more. Here's one of my other friends doing a super teacher lesson all on their own.
Michelle, can you read this sentence?
The chair is blue.
So close! Let's try it together. The chairs are blue.
Chairs.
Your turn.
The chairs are blue.
Michelle, that was great reading. Perfect.
Super Teacher! Check out superteacherapp.com or download the app to get started yourself. Like and subscribe to the Super Teacher channel so you can watch more lessons with me. Can't wait to learn more together.